Hello, let's continue our Sudoku adventure with Hot Tracks by GDC. This was a puzzle made for our February theme week, which was the loop puzzles. And so this is an extra one that GDC made. Didn't make it into the week, but we're featuring it now. All right, so let's go over the rules. We do have normal 6x6 Sudoku rules. So in each row, each column, and each 2x3 box, we are placing the digits 1 to 6, exactly ones each. We're also going to be drawing a loop in the grid. It's a one cell wide loop of orthogonally connected cells, and the loop can't touch itself, not even diagonally. So a loop looks something like maybe this. I mean, it doesn't have to be a perfect square. We're just going to be careful about not touching ourselves. So this would be a perfectly valid loop, for example. So the loop, there's a single loop, and you can see it's one cell wide, and it doesn't touch itself, not even diagonally. What does it look like to touch yourself? Well, if you make a blob, you're definitely touching yourself. You could try to argue that there's a loop here, but the loop is touching itself orthogonally. Now, of course, whenever you turn a corner, right, you could argue that these are touching diagonally, or that these in the same loop are touching orthogonally. But what we mean is the loop doesn't come back around and touch itself, right? So we can't then turn this corner, because now the loop here and here are touching itself, and they're not part of the same part of the loop. What's it look like for a loop to touch itself diagonally? I need to remember how to do that. During the loop theme week, I figured it out, but here, this is a way to do it. So these two cells are touching diagonally. That's not allowed either. This would be a violation. All right, but this is, of course, okay, right? It's the continuation of the loop. Loops wouldn't be able to turn at all if that was disallowed. Anyway, thought I'd be specific because it's been a bit since the loop theme week. All right, we also have killer cages in the grid. Now, okay, what's important about the loop is any cell that's on the loop, its value counts as double the normal value when we talk about killer cages. So the values in a cage sum to the clue in the top right. So these two sum to 9, these three sum to 30, but you have to account for the doubler. So for example, if the loop came through like this, and this was, say, a 2, that would count as 4 for the killer cage total. It doesn't count as 4 for Sudoku, right? It's still a 2. But for the killer cage total, when we sum it up, we use the 4 here, so this would be 5. So a 5, 2 with the 2 doubled would be a valid way to sum to 9, because we're 5 plus 4, which is 9. And that's it. Those are the rules. There's a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself. And I'm going to get started right now. All right, I noticed this 30 cage right away. It's also in the top left corner. Often the place to start. What is the maximum digits we can put in this 30 cage? Well, digits can't repeat a cage, but also they're all in the same box anyway. 4, 5, 6 would be the max I can put in here. Those are the 3 biggest digits. What's that add to? 15. That means I have to double the entire cage in order to get to 30. So this is the biggest any 3-cell cage can get, and it has to all be on the loop. Now we have to continue the loop. We're not allowed to continue here because we'd be touching ourselves. So this actually has to continue here, and this has to continue down here. Now we, of course, are going to have to think about this 4 cage. This is already doubled. So it's not going to be a 2 even, because doubling the 2 is already 4. We don't get to put a 0. So this has to be a 1, which has a value of 2. And so now this has to also have a value of 2, which means a doubled 1, but that would repeat a 1 in the cage, or a 2 that's not doubled. So we cannot continue the loop there, so it has to go down. Okay, so now we can either go down or right. I don't know that we can prove we don't double this cell right now. 13 and 2. Okay, let's try to do that naturally without doubling anything. So 13 in 2 is not possible. 5, 6, right? Is 11. So we have to double at least one of these cells. Keep in mind that 2 of 4, 5, 6 are gone. So actually, the biggest digits I could put in this are the 3 and the 6. 3, 6 is the biggest I can put in here, because we already have 2 of 4, 5, 6 missing. And that, if we doubled the 3, we'd only get to 12. If we doubled the 6, we could do that and put it with a 1. So we got to double the bigger digit here. We can't just double the 3. Or we need to double both digits. Well, okay, we can't double both digits because then we'd be an even number. So any odd number cage, the loop touches one cell but not the other, or none of the cells. It can't touch both cells. I just so noticed this 20. If we double the 6, that's 12. We'd have to put an 8 with it, actually. math, just do math correctly. So these are both on the loop as well. If the loop is going to touch this corner, it's a loop, right? It's got to come back around, so it's got to do this corner as well. That means this is not loop, so it continues here and it continues here. Now to get to 20, these two digits add to 10. The only way to do that is 4, 6. That's more pressure on 4, 6 in this column. I don't know. So if this loop continues up, then this is not loop, so it would continue up again. And then we couldn't come up into this corner and back around. So if this loop goes up, it's just immediately, that doesn't work. Okay, so let me explain that a little bit. If this loop comes up here, we know that the 7 cage can't have 2 loop cells on it because it's an odd sum. If we're doubling both digits, we're going to be an even sum. So it has to continue this way. This is if it goes up. Where was I starting from? Right, from here. Yeah, so it's either going to go up or left, right? If it goes up, I'm going to prove this doesn't work. This can't be looped, so it has to continue up here. Now we can't go into this corner, because if we go into this corner, we're going to have to come back down, and then we touch ourselves. But either way, we end up here. Now there's only one way to go. We can't trap ourselves, so we're going to go here, and now this 9 cage has 2 loop cells in it. It would have to be an even sum, but it's not. So we're not allowed to go up like that. So this is not allowed, meaning we're going left. Now, can we go up? If we go up, we could do something like this. Yeah, that's okay. Or something like this. So, I don't know what to precisely do from here. Let's see. Let's find out. We can't come here. If the loop goes up here, it would be touching itself diagonally. So we're not allowed to go there. So we have to go left. I mean, this end connects to here and this end connects to here. That's pretty clear. We don't know how they connect yet. Are we worried about the 6? Okay, so the minimum I can put in here is 2, 3. The minimum digits. If I doubled any of those, I'd be too big. Doubling the 2, we'd add to 7. Because the 1 is gone. So we cannot double anything in this cage. So we have to continue this way. And by the way, that means it's a 2, 4. It's the only way we're adding to 6 and 2 without a 1. We know that 13 cage has exactly 1 loop cell on it. Yeah, and if we took this one, we'd have to also take this one. Let me explain why. So if we take this cell, we're either coming around the corner like this. We can't come back around. We can't touch ourselves, so we'd connect this way, and both would be looped. That's no good, because it's 13. That's odd. Or we'd come up this way, which still requires us to then connect here. So we cannot take this as a loop cell. This is the non-loop. This is loop. So it's going to come around here, and it's going to come down. And that connects up the loop that way. We can't make this loop. We can't make this loop because it would be touching itself diagonally. Okay, so this loop can only continue here. Now the 9 is telling us we can't take that one. So this whole area is not accessible. We can gray it. So this has to come down. And then we either need to double this cell and do this, or we come around this way. And I think the only way we're going to tell is by determining numbers that are happening here. So I guess we got to do digits now. Let's look at the 9 cage. This one's doubled and this one's not. So what are we doubling? If we double a 1, that's 2. So this would then have to be 7. Notice that this has to be an odd digit. Now 7 is is too big for this puzzle. But notice that because this is always going to be an even value, this is going to be an odd number. So we might as well think about 1, 3, or 5 here. So if this was a 1, this needs to be 8. So that would be a 4. If this was a 3, then this needs to be 6, which would be another 3. That doesn't work. If this was 5, this would have to be a value of 4. That would be a 2, which we can't do. So the only way we're doing this is 1, 4. Okay, so that's not a 4. 4's up here. This is actually a 2, 3. And then this is 3, 5, 6. Okay. Now, how does this help me? This digit is also odd. Well, no, we don't know that. Sorry, I was thinking about if this was doubled, this digit would be odd. We don't know it's doubled yet. If it is at all. Oh, the 2, 4 pair looks odd. That's 3 and 2. So that's not a 3. Okay. This we know is odd. A 1, 3, or 5. So let's think about it. Probably needs to be pretty big. If it's a 1, this needs to double to... Oh, actually, no, it doesn't have to be that big. If this is a 1, this needs to be 12. So that would be a 6. Remember, this can't be 5. Oh, no, maybe it can be... Okay, let's just go through it. If this was 3, this would need to be 10, so this would be 5. And then if this is 5, this would need to be 8, so it's 4. And that's a 4, 5, 6 triple, right? So 5, 4 doesn't work. So that can't be 5, which means that can't be... What did I do here? Oh yeah, that can't be 4. Okay. 5, 6 pair, that places this 4. Crazy how this works. It's a weird thing about doublers. Okay, let's this column, we have the 5, 6 pair, so this column needs 1, 2, 3. I have to remember, okay, the 6 in this box actually only goes here, because we have this 4, 6 pair. That gives us the 5 and the 6 and the 5. 5 doubled is 10, so that's a 3. Right, that worked out. These aren't 3s. Up here we get the 5. Leaving a 3, 6 pair. So where's 6 in this column? Not here, not here. It's one of these two. So there's no 6 in this 7 cage. Are we restricted on the natural 7? So let's think about if this was a natural 7. We cannot be 1, 6. The 6 is gone. 2, 5 would be like this. And 3, 4, I believe works either way. Okay, so that's if it's natural. What if this was a doubler? I wonder if this is too much to do right now. If this was a doubler, this would have to be odd. So if this was 1, we'd be doubling a 3. If this was 3, we'd be doubling a 2. Seems okay. And if this was, this can't be a 5. Okay. So these are our options. Wonderful. That's probably not what we were supposed to look at. We do have a 2, 4 looking down here. Okay, the 2 looks down here, putting a 2 over here. That gives us the 4 and the 2 here. Giving us the 1. So this can't be 1. I don't know. I don't think I should be tracking these right now. Well, if this isn't 1, that was only possible if this was a double 3, but this could be a 3 because it's not doubled, so we can't clean that up. That's a 2. Let's just look at the Sudoku here. I bet there's just Sudoku. Yeah, this is 5 and this is 6 for the column. That's a 6. Here I need 1, 2. I need 3, 4. By the way, this is a really neat idea to have the path doubled. I think this is really fun. 3, 4 pair means that this has to be a 1 for the column. That places the 3 here. So this is 1, 2, 5. That's not 2. That's not 1. That's not 5. 2. Yeah, we have 1 and 6 gone. 2, 3, 4, 5. So this can't be. Wow, this can't be 2, 3. Oh yeah, this is 1 or 5, but not 1. So that's 5. That's 1. That's 2. That's 5. Okay, so we can clean this up a bit. Can this? Maybe we can just finish the Sudoku first. This is a 2. 2 can't go with 5, so it has to be doubled. So it's a 4, and that goes with 3. Perfect. That's 6 and 3. That's 4 and 3. I think I put way too much thought into that. That's 4 and 6. Down here we need the 1 and the 4, and we're done. Let's grade this out. Okay, cool. So we have our nice loopy loop here. Does not touch itself. Good. All right. This was neat. I liked the various logic with the doublers. What never was too overwhelming. I think I case checked a bit more than I needed to, especially on this 7 cage. But I liked the idea of an odd cage. You can't have both of them on the loop. And the one that's not on the loop, if one is on the loop, then the one that's not on the loop has to be an odd digit, which really helps case check it down. Really helped with this 13 cage. I think it helped with the 9 cage as well. But yeah, that was neat. Cool. Well, I enjoyed that. Let me know how you did. And if you enjoyed it, why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.